All right, welcome back to another episode of the Wolves Only podcast powered by JWFIT. Today's actually kind of special. It's cool because I don't think this has ever happened, and I don't know that it's going to happen again. But one of my mentors is on. Scotty, I talk about Justin all the time to you, right? I mean, I have. I don't know that, like, sorry, Justin, like always being talked about, but no, definitely someone that pushed me in a direction and helped me out quite a bit when we first really got like this thing like launched up. And obviously I believe that he's a large contributing factor to a lot of our success, especially when it comes to running ads and all of the things that we do.
Our process and how we built our structure and stuff like definitely came from a lot of that. Absolutely.
It's for sure. But and as much as I want to go into like business and philosophy and business and all the things, because I know you have a lot of really good stuff to offer, and I want to get into that. But truthfully, I just want to dick around today a little bit. I just want to fuck around and find out about Justin Saunders. Justin, introduce yourself, brother.
Yeah, man. So first off, I appreciate you guys having me on this show. I always love doing anything I can to get the name out there and meet new people and, just kind of talk and shoot the shit. So, first, I guess kind of the 1,000-foot overview, and then we can kind of dive in where you guys want to from there is, I got started in this space, the marketing space, roughly around 7-ish years ago. And the way I got started was I was graduating college, and when I was in college, I got this sales job selling print and digital ads door to door in Lexington, Kentucky, where I went to school. And man, if you guys have ever been to Lexington, it's one of those things where the summers are hot as balls and the winter is cold as fuck. So there's not really a good happy medium other than like the fall season, and that season's where you just want to enjoy the weather when you're in college there, right? So I learned sales through that. I was just going door to door, and I just really like fucked my way up just to learning as much as I possibly could. And it's one of those things where every rejection just got me more and more motivated to figure out how to get better at this whole sales thing. Because, at the time I was just some frat boy that had no intention of selling anything just other than just having a good time on the weekends. Right. And I did that for about 1.5 years. And I quickly realized one day that I'm like, man, if I could figure out how to do this whole fulfillment thing, I could get 100% of the pie rather than 10% of the pie. And that's kind of where everything jumped. I saw a Ty Lopez ad, and regardless of going through his material, which was very broad, it just gave me the idea like, hey, I could be my own boss. So I went all in, bought his course with the last paycheck I had. And then just, after college, I just went all in and just tried to figure it out and got some clients here and there, built up a couple agencies. I think we went through probably 3 agencies, different like pivoting times throughout there. We were chiropractic, stem cells, and then solar. And solar was really where we had like the first success, like the first like $1 million agency I actually built. And then kind of just hit this crazy burnout period. And that was probably about 2 years ago. I just shut down everything because I was just doing way too much at the side. I was like, my whole idea of getting rich and wealthy was just do 1 million different things and it would work out, because that's what a lot of like people teach, like passive income and all this shit that I'm sure you guys are aware of as well. And it didn't work out like that for me, man. I just had this crazy burnout phase where I just shut down like 3-4 businesses. And about 4 months later came out with, I posted something on my Instagram because I was always branding about like Instagram DM ads because I did in the past. And sure enough, like people were just interested, and that just kind of like blew the fuck up from there. And this is kind of where we are now.
Yeah. It's funny because your ads, like I saw your ads probably 5 or 6 times before I finally DM'd you and fell into your funnel. And I'll tell you, my first contact was with Joe. And I thought he was just a really slick young man. But I want to back up to something that you actually said that really, caught my attention. And I would tell you that a lot of people don't appreciate this, and that's probably why they fucking fail. Rejection, handling rejection. And I'm about to actually put out a carousel about this right now because we were talking about a homie that, not a homie, a prospect that I passed on. He said, I don't know. He said to me, I don't know how you can help me. I close 80% of my deals. And I said 80% sucks dick. And he's like, huh? What? I said that closing percentage sucks dick. And he's like, well, I don't understand. And I'm like, how many calls did you take? 20 calls. And I said, you're playing in the kiddie pool. Thoughts?
I think you're spot on, man. And we hear it all the time too. It's people try to flex big numbers like that. And as a vet, anyone that's in this space, anytime someone does that, they're not having enough opportunity. And that kind of comes
Correct.
down to what you're saying.
Right.
It's like a lot of times people get so trapped like that. Like we had a girl one time come to us. She's like, I'm closing 100%. And we're like, how many calls you taking? I took 10 in the last 2 months. Okay. Well, we need to get you down to 50%. We need to get you to fuck up as many times as you can because, probably the same thing with that dude is like they were just closing organic traffic, closing cold traffic compared to organic traffic, night and day difference. And that's where, when you're trying to flex an 80% close rate on cold traffic, I'll call bullshit all day long.
No, yeah.
Oh, for sure.
You need rejection. You need to have that because again, like you're playing. Like I said, you're playing in the kiddie pool. You gotta dive into like the depths of fucking rejection, and that's like I don't know how much you don't know that much about me, but I grew up in the auto industry, and I've sold cars since I was 13 years old, bro. Like rejection is like it's easy now. Like I always say this, and Scotty and I like live by this. Tell me no or tell me yes. Don't fucking tell me maybe.
For the love of God. Yes. Fuck. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, that's like the worst hanging out there bullshit ass answer you could give me. Just fucking tell me no so I can continue on with my day to the person that's going to tell me yes. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, there was a book I read once. I forget what the title was, but it was when I was first learning sales, like kind of back in that story I was saying. And I was always getting maybes, and it would piss me off because I couldn't figure it out because I was timid. I was shy. I was just getting in sales. I was a little college kid. And I read this book and it changed my entire life. And what it said is getting a no is just as good as getting a yes. So what I ended up doing from that moment forward is I literally told the prospects, I was like, tell me no if you don't want to do this. And like, going that route, I got way more yeses, and I just made so much more money because I didn't have that little whole maybe land where a lot of people land with their deals,
Yeah,
it is. It's like right, and we know that time kills deals. So like maybe is just like you're just like slowly killing yourself, instead of just saying let me just jump off this bridge and end it with you.
Just delaying the inevitable for fucking no reason constantly.
So let me go. I want to go back a little bit. So, college, you were a frat boy, and I don't see that in you anymore. But here's one thing I do know about you that I think is pretty fucking cool. You can dunk.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Scotty doesn't know anything about that. He's Scotty.
That's way up there for me. That's like a fucking stretch. I don't know about that.
Yeah, if you don't know, Scotty's very, very short. I'm 6'5". Scotty is a very, very.
I'm the opposite.
Jacked.
I'm like 5'6". So we just flip it around, So 6'5" personality though. So does anybody asks?
But Justin, you can dunk.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I played ball my whole life. I'm 6'2", and that was just I think a lot of that also comes down to like with like just business and people I see that are making moves in life is they're like competitive growing up. And that's something for me is like always just wanted to be able to slam. So I would always just practice. And, as they always say, just practice makes perfect. And I fucking love balling, dude. So if you guys are ever in the area, you'll have to hit me up. I'm not as tall as you, Justin, but we'll size up and see what's good.
I have no vertical whatsoever. I'm not very mobile. That's awesome. And yeah, I saw you dunk and I was like, this motherfucker can dunk. You don't see white people that can dunk very often.
Yeah, they're in the NBA, but that's about it.
You certainly don't see Jews that can dunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to figure it out though, because if I could do that, I'd be like the third 5'6" guy in history to pull that off. So I just gotta.
It is, yeah. You just Scotty, kill that
Hey
dream.
man, don't
forever.
kill my dreams. Don't kill my dreams. All right.
Hey, dude,
I gotta-
all
Well-
you got to do, bro, just go to the gym and do some calf exercises, and like you're,
Pop
sure
him
enough,
up.
that and some
That's
squats, like do it every day. That's the secret
got it.
recipe, bro.
I got it. Watch. 2 months from now, Duncan. Watch. Let's go.
Well, we'll
this
see about
summer,
that.
buckets.
We can place a bet on that, Scotty. I don't think you've ever won one against me.
Yeah, but this is athletics, not business. It's different. So like I'm very confident in my athletic ability. So like that's what I got going.
I know.
That's what I got
Actually,
going.
you know what? Did you know that Scotty is an Olympian Taekwondo master? Don't try to take his lunch money.
Damn. So
He'll
that's,
fuck you
that's
up.
why your names. That's why.
That's
your
where the
name's
name
Scotty
came from.
Scotty.
Yeah. So like, but obviously Taekwondo Scotty didn't really sound cool, so we couldn't
Sounds
do
like
that.
shit.
So it sounds stupid as hell. Yeah, it's fucking dumb. So Karate Scotty was, that was 3 years old. Now here I am, fucking 40, and that shit'll be on my obituary. But it's my brand, man. It's who I am. So, but yeah, I used to fucking throw kicks and punches and beat up little kids and shit for fun. It was a good time.
So high school, Justin Saunders, you were a basketball player. Were you total jock, or were you?
Yeah, pretty much, man. I mean, all I cared about was just balling. Like, I played AAU basketball growing up, just traveled. Terrible grades.
Did you grow up in
high
Florida? Or
school.
no, you didn't grow up in Florida, did you?
Kentucky.
Kentucky. Okay, that's.
Yeah,
I thought you just said you went to
Lexington.
college in Kentucky, but okay, you grew up in Kentucky.
Yeah, I grew up in Kentucky and just traveled. Playing basketball was like one of my favorite things to do, and I just went all in on that. And then, naturally, after high school, like my junior year, I kept like tweaking up my ankles, and they were just never the same. And I kind of had a come to Jesus moment where I'm like, well, I'm a 6'1" white boy from Kentucky, and my ankles are starting to give out on me. I got to figure out something, because my whole dream was like, dude, I want to go play pro basketball. But like, I had like a come to Jesus moment. I'm like, all right, dude, you got to be honest with yourself now. And I kind of shifted into just going to college and figuring out my shit from there.
Right on.
Oh, yeah.
It's just funny to me because, you said a number of things, that you were like the high school jock and then you were a frat boy. But now it's just funny how time changes people, because you do not strike me as that kind of person whatsoever.
No.
Like at this point, like getting to know you a little bit, like you're articulate, you're fucking funny, you're tatted up, and obviously self-employed, which we all know a lot of times, like the jock turned frat boy, whatever, usually ends up working for somebody else the rest of their life. Like everyone that I've ever met before, right?
Yeah.
Very few end
pretty
up going
common.
into the world of successful entrepreneurship, and especially like alternative route where like you're doing shit on social media and stuff like that. So it's just like I said, I just knew you could dunk.
We just wanted to talk about the dunk. It was just, like all the other stuff was cool, but like you can dunk. So this
That'll
is
have to be the
stuff.
title of this interview, how Justin can dunk.
Yeah,
Yes.
Saunders can dunk. Hell yeah. Love
yeah,
it.
Justin
That's
Saunders
good.
can dunk.
You know what, though?
That's
I
really
do
cool.
love, though, how you like your correlation, though, with like athletics and competition and being successful later on in life. Yeah, I talk about that a lot, too, in regards to like someone being coached or having a mentor. If you've never been an athlete or you've never been in that space, right? It wouldn't register you to the same. It wouldn't process. You wouldn't understand like what that person is there for. But being an athlete, being in competition your entire life, like you understand like what that person's for, to push you, to make you better, to get you to that point. So I think it's a lot easier to drive people that have been in that space before, but I feel the exact same way with that. Like there's a direct correlation with just athletes in general and like, a higher level of success if they continue to do it, once they're done.
It's
with high
funny that
school.
you say that. So I've hired like a lot of people to be salespeople and things like that, like hundreds and hundreds of people that I've trained up into becoming salespeople on a professional level. Scotty knows this.
Yeah.
And the athlete that actually I've always known to be the best, wrestlers.
I can see that. Yeah.
Wrestlers and sales, for whatever reason, like if somebody comes in and they're like, whatever their resume says, if they're like, yeah, I wrestled for Michigan State, just hire them.
Fucking hired. You're fucking hired.
What's interesting about that? So Joe, and for anyone watching this, Joe is one of my good friends, and he runs the sales department at AIA. You guess what his sport was?
Was it wrestling?
swimming.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I can see
okay.
that.
So you know what it is? It might be like that contest against yourself, but you're still being coached in a team atmosphere, right?
Could be. Could be.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But like, you know what? But on the same topic with like wrestlers are always usually the just a little tweaked, little fucked up here. Usually pretty quiet, pretty reserved. So like they just take orders, do what the fuck they're supposed to do, and leave. So they don't like blow a
The
gasket and fucking kill
discipline, I
everybody.
think, with cutting and with being a wrestler is something else. I'm not a wrestler. I look like
Yeah.
a WWE wrestler, but I'm not a wrestler.
I can see
And
it.
well, I'm bigger than Dwayne Johnson. But it's just wild to me that's always been a common denominator with like successful athletes that come into business and into sales specifically. And I don't know really any other business but sales. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
You know,
think
this is really random, but that's just funny that you just brought up the that you're bigger than The Rock. Why don't we have like? Because really, it's like The Rock and Kevin Hart. We're like the white version of that, right?
Yeah,
We
we
need to
are.
have our thing. Like we're like I'm the
I think we
short
already
white
do.
guy. We do okay, all right. Yeah, but we don't have Jumanji, right? So maybe Saunders could hook that up. We can get Jumanji 3. It will be the white version. Maybe a little cooler. I don't know.
I
Something
think
out
the
there.
question
You're
is,
getting a
who would
little
I be
racy,
in
Scotty. You're getting
Jumanji,
racy.
bro?
Who you being Jumanji? We can figure something out. We'll figure it out.
That scares me.
Oh man. So
Anyways.
yeah, so let's talk ecosystem, huh?
Yeah.
On it.
Because I think I've hired a number of different mentors, and most of them have been dog shit. And I truly believe that JWFIT has one of the best ecosystems in the space. But honestly, I learned a lot about ecosystem through AIA, and I mean I'm curious to know your kind of thought process with it. We don't do things exactly the same whatsoever. In fact, we probably don't do many things the same. um, but I do know one thing, that you kind of took a community approach, and I was on an interview with you, and we talked a little bit about how people like the community feel. And I want to know your thought process. And obviously, Joe is one of your best friends, right? Scotty's been my best friend for over 20 years. And I think that ecosystem, starting with like friendship, partnership, it makes it kind of easy, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And to me, like the ecosystem, like your environment is really what changed my life. And that's why I really kind of put a big importance on it because, going from high school to college to running my own business, each like chapter, if you will, had a different ecosystem. High school, just your high school friends, college, all of your frat friends, everyone going out and doing dumb shit. And then college, or after graduating college, ecosystem becomes people of like, you're trying to level up your network from there. And what really changed my life was the first mastermind I ever went to. It was right when I finally started getting like some momentum in business. At the time, I was just every dollar I was making, I was spending back into mentorship, to communities, to network with people, and just learn shit, right? And I went to this one mastermind. I was in Atlanta, Georgia. It's a guy named J.R. Rivas, and I went with one of my friends I was living with, building my business with, known as, his name's Jeff Seckinger, if you or anyone on here knows who that is. And we went to this mastermind, and everybody there it was like, I didn't even know what to expect because everybody there was doing the same shit that we were doing. But like when you're transitioning out of college into this entrepreneurship route, like nobody's really supporting you, right? Like everyone's like, you're fucking crazy, bro. Like I even had my girlfriend at the time, ex-girlfriend for a reason. Her cousin came up and started talking shit to me about my YouTube videos like I was putting out. And I didn't have an environment like that. So when I first came to that first mastermind, it just changed my whole perspective. So what I kept doing from there is investing in more and more masterminds, getting around and building good relationships with people. And it's one of those things, when you have a good relationship with someone, you get on interviews with them, right? You get closer to them and you can actually work closer with them. And like, that's been my big thing that I always look for, is like, how can I get as close as possible to the right type of people? And also make sure I'm always surrounding myself with the right people. And that was kind of like my dream growing up. not even just growing up, but like when I first started my own business, was like, I want to be around people like myself that are pushing me and making me get shit done. And that's why, like, with our program, I mean, obviously there's some people that fall through the cracks, but I think in our program, we have a very solid group of individuals that are always pushing each other. And same thing with you guys as well. It's like, and that's probably why we're different. It's like, I always say is like your vibe attracts your tribe. So it's like how I market and how I talk, we had a guy buy, we had one guy buy from me because he goes, yo, I saw Justin's ad and he had a ginger beard and I have a ginger beard too. So I just wanted to get in with you guys.
Oh, dude, you know how many of our coaches are bald with beards and all tatted up. No, it's funny. We have some coaches I don't even know that have any interest in coaching. They just wanted to be a part of the
we're pretty sure there's a couple of them that just want to hang out. Like they just want to come to the calls, hang out, like be a part of the crew, and that's great.
Yeah, it is. Like, if they want whatever they want, they get. But like, it is cool when you do put that out there. And I believe like a lot of it is like just authenticity, right? Like, we preach it constantly, just be yourself. And it's funny because one of Bedros Keuilian's best friends joined our program, and his name's Jay. Jay, if you're listening to this, I love you, bro. Yeah, I'm actually meeting up with him on Sunday, hopefully, maybe I'd get a chance to meet Bedros too. That'd be kind of cool. I don't listen to his podcast or anything, but I like him. He said to me, he's like, you guys market the opposite of everybody in your space. And I'm like, thank you. I'm like, thank you.
It's for a reason. It's on purpose.
It's so unpolished and so like straightforward. And I was like, you know what? I appreciate that. He's like, that's honestly the only reason I jumped on a call with you guys. And I was like, all right. Now this dude is he's got a huge podcast. He's a high 5-figure a month coach already, and he is a comedian, stand-up comedian, a big stand-up comedian too. Really cool dude. But just like that was like, rest assured is like, you guys have the right community, the right people for me, and I love that. And I like the concept of like everybody pushing everybody, because at the end of the day, none of us are in competition.
No.
People say like online coaching, mentoring, things like that saturated. Then you're not charging enough. Like, really,
that's just tiny brain, man. That's just limited, tiny ass brain beliefs. Like there's how many billions of people are in this space? Like, and you think that fucking a couple people got all of them? No way.
Yeah. I also think like adding to that too is like, yes, industries are similar, but it also is like, I want other people to win. Like I want your people to win. I want our people to win. I want whoever over there to win, because it gives the industry a better rep. And guess what?
Right.
The more money you can make somebody else, the more they're going to reinvest that money back into somebody else like yourself. So it's like, it's a win-win, and so many people have it twisted. And that's why, like, for me, I give away everything for free now, because I just want people to win, because what happens when people win? Money piles up.
Let me ask you though, you there's no way you're giving away everything for free and not reaching on the back. And I know what you do, and I love it. And it's brilliant. But obviously the free game thing is a great way to attract clients. We've been talking about this more and more. I do like the free game approach. I do.
Yeah. I'm very transparent with it too, with all my followers too. I tell them, be like, hey, don't pay me a single dollar until you make money from my free shit. And then when you do, and you want to work closely and you want more implementation, hit us up, because what we do is we sell the how-to videos. Because to be honest with you, you go on YouTube, how to run Instagram ads, how to do this, everything's on YouTube nowadays.
Right.
And it's like, we sell the implementation. And I think that's really where the coaching space is really transitioning, because, 2 years ago, you could sell, I mean, you saw it, like webinars were a really big thing probably like 2 years ago, right? You just sell a course and it just evergreen, rinse and repeat. Things are changing. And I think that's where like the top coaches, they get on top of the trends. And it's like, I mean, you can, sure, there's some videos that are a little bit different that you can't find on the internet, but for the most part, almost every how-to video is out there. And you guys see it too, because you're stacked with coaches, as you were saying. Is like, that's what people want. They want the community. They want the environment. They want the implementation.
Correct.
And that's what's going to get them to the next level.
And that's the other thing too, Justin, that I've noticed that you have a really solid work ethic. And what's really funny about this space is it's a lot of dorks and a lot of guys that are like, I want to work less and earn more. And I can appreciate that. Work smart and not work hard. But you take guys like Scotty and myself, right? Like I've literally been in the auto industry my entire life. An 80-hour work week, a 90-hour work week, that ain't shit. That's nothing.
Pretty normal.
Scotty owned his own custom homes building company. You know, he's used to not seeing his kids. Okay.
Yeah, 17-hour days that's a normal, easy day.
So my point is that like, while you have all these dorks that are doing these different programs and they're like, how do we automate it the best? How do we make it so like we can whatever, blah, blah, blah. I appreciate that. And I do believe automation needs to be a thing, but you take somebody who has the same knowledge, the same resources, but they actually show up. Hello.
Night and day difference.
It changes the fucking game completely.
And I think the real reason behind a lot of that is, you know, a lot of people that when they're first getting into this space of becoming an entrepreneur, running your own business, they don't want to work. They just want to make money, right? They just want to make money and live the lifestyle that they see. But the farther they get into it, they realize, oh, I got to work more in order to achieve that lifestyle. And once you kind of get it, it's almost like a fix. Like once you get on your first PJ, it's like, holy shit, how do I get on another? Once you stay at that 5-star hotel, how do I get on another? And it's like, well, you fucking work your ass off and you stack up some more cash so you can live the life that you've always wanted. And I think it's kind of like the people that think like that, if you're thinking like, oh, well, I just want to work a couple hours a day or whatever, it's like, that's beginner style, right? Like there's levels to this shit. And I think it's eventually everyone either upgrades or they stay stagnant. And, you know, Gary Vee talks about it all the time where it's like, he says it's in people's DNA. I think it just like kind of comes down to what you really want. It's not everybody's meant for this, right? Some people are meant to work at fucking McDonald's, bro.
Absolutely. I would caution anybody that stumbles across a DM ad. You know, you see like those one guys that are like, they're going up a chairlift. I just saw this ad. Maybe no one's seen it. Maybe they're not even real. I don't know. But they're like, you know, here we are going up a chairlift. And that's not the actual script. We're going up a chairlift and our business is running itself and you can have exactly this. And you're like, fuck you.
Yeah.
It's just cheesy.
Fuck you. You are not doing you are literally poisoning like young men and women that could be real entrepreneurs with like being like, you know, oh, here we go. Automated this, automated that. And sure, low ticket.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Super low. Planet Fitness low. Like,
yeah.
And that, but that's what you get, right?
Because if you want to go high ticket, you know, our program is $25,000. I'm just going to come out and say it right here. Whatever they want to take it, they can take it. If they don't need to.
Yeah.
We're $25,000 now, and you know, I would tell you that all of our paid in full clients and even the payment plan, we treat everybody the same, and we show up and we do everything that we say. But all of our paid in full clients, they're not coming through some fucking automated funnel.
Fuck
no way.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, they're getting the royal treatment.
Yeah, it's just levels to it. You know, like someone that's a level 1 type of client isn't going to be able to afford a 10, 15, 20, 30, $50,000 program because they just want to live the lifestyle of being on a chairlift and pressing a couple buttons and living the good life.
I'm on a chairlift.
Couple wheels on Instagram. Let me just blow this fake shit up. But you know what it is too. I think that has a lot to do with it too. Is there is so much watered down bullshit, and they know it. People recognize it now. So to see something authentic and to see something more hands on the way we do it, and that's why it looks backwards to everybody. That's why it looks crazy to everyone because everybody's looking for that bullshit ass, you know, get rich quick and sit on a chairlift scheme, which is just not a real thing.
Yeah.
Like it has to be a chairlift.
Yeah, it's got to be. Yeah, they have to be a chair. And they got to be skiers too.
Yeah, not snowboarders.
Yeah, not just skiers. Like in the stupid little shitty skis. You look like a fucking asshole on the hill.
Yeah. Clean cut, no tattoos. Like, listen, they're going to attract that audience, and that's really what it is. It's like, I think, you know, a lot of people want to get into entrepreneurship or they want to get into like the online space. I mean, obviously, it's because they don't want to work real jobs. And it's just funny to me because it's like, you don't want to work a real job. It's not even that you don't want to work a real job. You don't want to work.
You don't work. Yeah, isn't it funny how like when did that happen? Like when did somehow the definition of entrepreneur turned into like lazy fucker? Like people just think, "Oh, I'm an entrepreneur." Well, what do you do? I don't really do anything. That's not what that fucking means. Like when did that definition get fucked up? Because that's like somehow what
Well, let me ask. Actually, I got a better question for you. I got a better question for that. How many sales calls have you been on, Justin, where their profile says entrepreneur and they can't afford you?
I can't count that number. It's so high. I can tell you also the amount of sales calls that I've been on where people have over like 200,000 followers and they're flexing all of this amazing lifestyle and they can't even afford $1,000 a month. That number is really fucking high too. So it's also kind of going to show, like, for anyone watching this, do your fucking due diligence when you're talking and you're about to invest in someone, because we live in a space where there's a lot of good, like people like us on here, and there's also a lot of phonies out there.
Yeah.
And I think, I think again, everyone eventually gets exposed at some point, but it's also like, just watch yourself with your investments, because it blows my mind, dude. I've had people come through our program and they're living in a quote unquote $40,000 a month penthouse, G-Wagon, all this stuff, balling out, traveling the world, and their payment plan fails. And then we hit them up like, oh, I don't have any money left.
Wait a minute, time out. What? Yeah.
Wow.
See, that's smoke and mirrors shit, man. That's
but
fucking.
The funny thing is, those are the same type of people that never show up or never put in any of the work.
It's true.
Correlation?
Right.
It's fucking true. Yeah. That whole I'm the talent bullshit. No fucking no work. Like, but actually put the work in. Like that's what it actually takes. Like if you ever actually built a business, you understand that. But like, yeah, it's the fucking I'm an entrepreneur. I hate that shit.
So right. Yeah, they just want the title. They don't want to do the work.
Yeah.
Here's another one that I would ask. Justin, your program is not a done for you program, right? Not at all. And neither is ours. I think I would tell you that we are, I talk about this a lot. We're 75-25, 75% done with you, 25% done for you. So tedious tasks like building up your go high level, we have that done for you, right? Like stupid things like that. Nobody should need to spend their time on, because it doesn't matter if they know. But I'm a true believer in knowing how to take apart your engine and put it back together. That's something that I truly believe in this space. And if you're going to be an actual entrepreneur, you should know how to dissolve and rebuild your entire business. So done for you services. I want to tell you my opinion, and I want you to see. I just want to know if you agree with me in this or not. And if you don't, tell me. I truly believe almost every done for you mentorship program, or they're not even mentorship programs at that point, are trying to keep you sick. You want me to elaborate?
I'll tell you what I think from right with you saying that, in my personal experiences. To this date, I have not had one single done for you service that has performed on what they said they were going to do, resulting in a lot of money forked over with no result in the back end. And it's not to say, I know some people running very successful companies like that. Don't get me wrong, somehow, some way, but it's also like, to me and my close circle of people, I still to this day have not found anything in the done for you space that just always works and performs on what they say they're going to do in the first place.
Yeah.
A lot of times too, they'll come with like these backings, like we work with people like Grant Cardone and all, and you're like, is that even true?
Yeah. And on what level, at what playing field did you work with Grant? Right, it's easy to be like, oh, I went to one of his masterminds, but still though, like anybody puts that shit out there, and it's just so appealing to everybody now. But even his shit's fucking the same watered down bullshit.
Well, I'll tell you the honest truth on this, because I used to run an agency. Right? We used to run ads for local businesses. And the way my company was incentivized was, we weren't incentivized on, the total business getting more sales in the back end. We were incentivized on the front end of making ourselves look better from getting the cheapest cost per lead and the cost per result, because then we could go back and say, well, hey, we got you all this stuff, but you didn't perform. Whereas if we would have went the other way around, expectations wouldn't be set the right way with the business owner. Like, why am I paying $100 per lead or whatever? And it's like, well, I can get them for $5, but it's like, that's where the done for you route goes. And why I think, in my opinion, a lot of it gets so screwed up is because a lot of the business owners almost have to prove themselves on the front end, but they can't actually do what's best for the business because the business owner is so fucked up where they think they know the right answer, but they don't, right? Like if I went to a business owner is like, hey, it's gonna be $1,000, and every time you spend $1,000, you're gonna make $10,000. They're like, okay, yeah, it's cool. But once they start spending that money and they're not used to it, and they're paying $100, $200 per lead, they're too focused on the wrong stuff because they're like you said, they don't understand the system, and if they don't understand the system, they can't get the fucking result.
Right. No, 100%. You're better off. You're better off hiring somebody like if you like for me, like I don't want to fucking run my ads. I don't want to do that. I'd rather just hire somebody that understands it, or hire somebody internally that you trust that has worked for you and knows you to go into a program like AIA and learn it, understand it, have a good understanding of it. If they continue to produce, continue to invest in furthering your education with it, make sure that they are super, super solid. So you can actually delegate the work to an actual employee as opposed to hiring the service that's ultimately going to give you Munchausen syndrome, or however the fuck you say it. It's like Worcestershire sauce. Munchausen syndrome, where like it's like a mom who keeps their daughter sick, so they stay relying on them forever, chasing retention all the time and not actually setting you up for success based off exactly what you're telling us, skewed analytics and false expectations.
Yeah,
exactly. I think your analogy was really solid with it. Is like they're just trying to keep you like a sick child, and they're just trying to keep you around because the longer you're around with them, the more you're going to pay them. And I see that a lot. We actually had I don't know if you met Ecom Woody, but he was one of our
he's great clients. He's a good kid.
You know, when he first came to us, he was doing about $5,000 a month, and he was paying this marketing agency. And I looked at the numbers and I was like, bro, you've got to stop. He's like, why? I was like, it's a fucking marketing agency. They're just trying to perform for themselves and make it look better. And that's what they were doing. They were getting the cheapest results. So I said, fire them, give me 2 months, implement our system, and let's see where you're at. I taught him everything. He became obsessed with KPIs, learned everything. Dude went from 5K months to 154K months within just 5 months. Just from
I know he's had some incredible. He's teaching like seminars for you now too, right?
Exactly. We hired him to be a coach as well. And it's like that's what it comes down to. And what you said is like sometimes like the people that aren't where they want to be, it's just they're missing that little part. And my biggest advice is don't be lazy. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah. Right. yeah. Seems so simple, doesn't it?
Well, yeah. And I sometimes feel like at this point, I'm really good at delegating, and I'm really good at structuring payment plans or compensation plans rather. So like, to me, it's like, I don't feel like I'm lazy because I'm constantly having to produce for everybody around me. So I'd rather delegate the work out. But you're right. Most of these companies, they can't afford to have 12 fucking employees, and highly, like I pay my guys really, really well. And I mean, it's impressive what we're able to, the lives of these guys that we change. They come on, we build their coaching programs, they crush it, and they get so like devoted to us that we end up moving them into leadership. That's what we call our guys that are employees into leadership. And then all of a sudden it's like their coaching businesses are running successfully, and now they're getting massive paychecks out of JWFIT, and it's like their lives are completely changed.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it all comes down to just one simple thing: is don't be lazy.
Right. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, and and we have so many. Almost just under 200 coaches, right? Like I think it's 198. So, and out of all of those people, right, we still only have this handful that really perform like that and that really take it as seriously as they should. And it is what it is, and we talk to them about it, and we help them to get past that. But it's like you would think with a big ticket like that, everybody's going to really, really invest into that and really do it. But like that's when like the elite come out. Right. And then even the littlest spot of laziness in that situation, when you're put up against these people that are really doing it well, it stands out. So it's easy for us to, really pick out and pinpoint, okay, these people she's crushing it, he's crushing it, he's crushing it. They're going to do fucking well in here. And those are the people that we have that do, 6-figure months easy. But it's all it comes down to not being lazy and actually doing the thing you're supposed to do.
Right. Or it's like people, and this isn't like, this is all coaches, not, I mean, I'm not going to just dog on anybody like in our program at all, but like some people will do it. And anyone that does this can internalize this and really understand that like a spurt of work is not going to get you anywhere. Like, oh, you know, I set my laptop up in Starbucks and I worked like 4 hours.
That's cute.
Okay.
That's cute.
That's great. Good job.
It comes down to there's a book. It's called The Slight Edge. Have you guys ever read or heard about The Slight Edge?
I haven't read that one.
Mm-mm.
Highly recommend it out if you guys or anyone watching this wants a good read. But essentially what it talks about is how everything you do today and consistently isn't going to affect you right now. It's going to affect you 30, 60, 90 days down the road. And that's where a lot of, you know, if we go back to like the typical beginner, is they want instantaneous results. And I'm just talking from my own experience too, because that's why, like, when I first got started, man, I tried everything. I tried agency, I tried Forex, I tried drop shipping, I tried real estate, all within like a 2-month period, because I wanted to get rich overnight, because that's what the media was portraying and I didn't know. And finally I had this wake up moment where I signed a contract with myself and said, I'm going to go all in on building this agency for 90 days. And if I deviate, then I have to give all the money to the homeless shelter. And I was like, fuck that. I do not want to give the homeless shelter money. So, because that was my big thing. I was like, there's no way I'm doing that. So I signed that agreement, and that changed my life, was just understanding like what you do today isn't going to be a direct result. It's going to be 30, 60, 90 days. And then vice versa too, is like, if you take off the gas pedal, it's not going to affect you right now. If you're already seeing a lot of momentum, it's going to affect you 30, 60, 90 days down the road.
I love that. Yeah, I fucking love that. It is true. And I know, like, you know what, how I can really put it like into a comparison with our situation when Scotty dissolved his construction company. Like, we were doing good.
Yeah.
Oh, when Scotty dissolved his construction company and just went all in, he flew out here for LA Fitness Expo. We were at the LA Fitness Expo, and we had like a booth and stuff. And he said to me, he's like, I dissolved the construction business. I'm done, and I'm all in. And as soon as that happened, it was like him and I were like so just so aligned that it was like that was January, right? That was a year.
Yeah.
That was a year.
Yeah,
ago.
it was a year. It was a year ago next week. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was like right from there, it was just like every single day was just like get our business done, get our shit handled. And then it just became more and more and more and more. And we did.
Yeah, it was like, it was tunnel vision at that point. You know, it was like, because for me too, it was like a situation where, you know, I'm 40 years old. So like, been doing small businesses and forever. And at 40 years old with 3 kids, it was like, okay, look, am I going to like continue to dangle on doing this, or am I going to really fucking say, fuck it and go all in on this and just make the shit work? Because ultimately, like, in your head, you always know, right? Like, you talk about that, like, you knew, like, all right, I'm going to be successful. I'm going to do this. I know this is going to happen. So I just had to be like, fuck it. I'm plunging. I'm going for it. I'm diving, you know, and every time I've done that throughout my entire life, the outcome was always good, you know, because it's like, it's not
surplus of work, Scotty. It's that.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's not necessarily the jump. It's the work. Right. Yeah. Yep.
It's the surplus of work. It lives that consistency, right? Because we didn't see it. We had some really cool immediate successes, but Scotty, what Justin's saying is that,
oh yeah, no, I totally understand.
90 days after we started making that move, and we were like 24 hours, like you and I busting ass. It didn't happen right away, but then also 90 days later, it was like all the things that we had put into
come to fruition.
So Justin's absolutely right with that. It does work that way, exactly that way, and it's not a surprise, but it's true.
But and that's in a lot of things, dude. I talk about that often. Actually, I put out some content about that a long time ago, because even past the 30 and 90 day mark, right? Like, I truly believe there's even things like, until you clean up all of that shit from even 5 years ago, right? There's something undone that's still affecting you getting to where you need to be today. And until you can kind of clear all that residual life debt that you have, that you're still not there yet. So it can be even longer term than that. Like, I truly believe in that. Like, you know, the shit that you did 5 years ago, you're still going to pay for some of that if you haven't cleaned it up yet. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like, I think that goes along with everything.
Especially if you fucked your credit up.
Yeah. So 5 to 7 on that one. 5 to 7 on that one, guys. So, but yeah, no, absolutely. You nail on the head.
Yeah. I think it comes down to a term that I came up with when I wrote that agreement with myself was, I call it going on a blitz, where you plan your 90 days and you reward yourself from there. And my first reward, I wrote it on a whiteboard. I probably have a photo somewhere in my drive, but I said, that was when I had no money. I was like, I got to get to 10K a month as fast as possible. And I said, I'm going to do it in 90 days. I actually did it in like 20 days, which was
Nice.
pretty exciting for me at the time, because the first thing on there was, I always say, if you're going to set up a blitz, reward yourself, so you just don't burn out. Like, you figure out something you won. First thing on there was, all right, after my first 10K I make, I'm going to get a tattoo. And I kept putting that on there, and you see a little tatted up at this point. But
Yeah, boom.
I think it comes down to like figuring out your zone of genius and really like dialing in your time to really go the fuck in. And kind of like what you said, Scotty, is, you kind of got to burn the ships with it too. Like, if you're half in, half out, you're always going to be half in, half out. And how you do one thing's how you do everything. So you might as well, if you want to do it the right fucking way, burn the ships.
Yeah, you got to dedicate the time. You got to put it all. You got to invest it all into it. And like I said too, like, it's just you've seen it too many times played over, and it's kind of cliche, but it is what it is. Like, there's not many times in my life that I've taken a risk, or in people that I know that have taken a risk like that, where it hasn't worked out on the other side, as long as they've continue to do the work.
Yeah, you got to have trust in yourself, and it's fucking hard, man. Especially like the farther, I'm sure for you, that was a hell of a jump, dude. Especially having a family like that.
Yeah.
Like most people just settle for the rest of their life. So like, kudos to you, because you bet on yourself, and that's what it comes down to. Is like, everybody watching this is like, you are the only person that's going to get it done. You have to believe in yourself.
Right. Oh, 100%. Yeah. And that was always my thing too. And that's like, I always try to instill in other people too, man. It's like, look, dude, I can see it. Like, I can visualize it. I've always been able to visualize it. So as long as you can see it, like, it's possible, just fucking run and grab that shit. Just fucking do it. And it was like the scariest, but also at the same time, the most relieving thing I did, because I took this massive piece of stress out of my life and jumped right into doing something I loved. So like, as much as it was a leap, like, I really enjoy what I do. So it didn't seem as heavy as it might on the surface.
So speaking of visualization, I swore off resolutions a long time ago, but I swore off goals this year. I said, I'm done talking about goals. And it's been eating me alive, because I've always I keep a whiteboard right here behind me, and I always keep like a vision board of the things that, and it's like minute things to me, maybe huge things to other people, but like, when I have a watch in mind that I want, I write the watch, and it's funny because like for the last year, it's been a full rose gold root beer. Okay. And I keep putting it off because I keep getting sidetracked by other pieces that I want. And then I'll go and buy that piece, even if it's more expensive than the rose gold root beer. I don't know why.
10 pieces later.
Yeah, I don't know why I do this, but like, it's so funny because I was like, all right, I'm going to go buy the rose gold root beer. And then Josh, my guy at Happy Jeweler, he texts me this like full blinged out, diamond out Hublot. And he's like, I can put you onto this one, and you're going to want to buy it right now because I know what it's worth. And I was like, and he actually almost wholesaled it to me. And I was like, I could have bought almost 2 rose gold root beers. And then, then the GMT came up and stuff like that. So I've been like, so I've always done like a vision board for like, and it's material items really. Cause at the end of the day, like, I don't set any limits or ceilings on like what we can do. Scotty knows like my main like financial goal is always based on their success. Right. Because like the more your people make, the more, you want to become a billionaire, you need to make millionaires. You need to create millionaires. So, but anyways, so it was eating me alive today. And I was running around like crazy all day today. And all day today, I kept thinking like, I always keep a vision board, and I almost always clear it off. If it's like, I want to hit $250,000 this month, or I want to hit over 400,000, this month, or whatever it is, I'm like, this is my goal right here to do this. Right. And, I broke down today and I did my vision board. And it's funny that you were talking, Justin, about, I broke it down today and put a car that I want by the end of the first quarter. And
like, I know which one that is.
It rhymes with double. Yeah, it rhymes with rolls. It rhymes with Schmoll's moist.
Schmoll's moist.
And I for the third or fourth time now, I put full rose gold root beer, Anyways, it doesn't matter. Okay. There was a salary number, or not a salary number, but a compensation number that I wrote in mind for you, for Dane, for Steve, and everybody else that I had in mind for each of you. I write that down regardless, but that's just something that I put in mind. But when you talked about signing an agreement and signing a contract to yourself, this is something that we've done, and this is something that we need to get back to doing. We used to have a culture of discipline contract that we would all sign to ourselves or to each other.
Yep. All of our leadership.
And that goes back to my favorite book is Good to Great across the board. And I don't only read business books. I do not like self-help books. I use self-help books to post on for my audience, but I don't read self-help. I either read biography or business. Sometimes I get into politics books, but either way, Good to Great. Have you read Good to Great?
I haven't. No.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's a must. That's a must read. That's something that like I made it mandatory that all leadership members, we all read it at the same time. I already read it. Now Justin, you want to know something?
Yeah, you read it a couple of times.
Me? Yeah. I speed read.
Okay.
It's retarded. No, when he says speed read, like you can't really register it because when you think speed read, you're like, oh, so you read kind of fast. Justin like reads a page in like 4 seconds, and then like he'll go back through and tell you.
You want to know how this happened? Can I tell you? Can I tell you like how this ended up happening?
Yeah, tell us the secrets, bro.
Okay, so I was in 9th or 10th grade. Okay. And I had to do a book report or something. I don't remember what it was. And I just couldn't get myself to read this book. Okay. And I would stay up all night and I'd have like TV on and I just wouldn't do it. So I saw an infomercial on speed reading. Okay. And they had back then it was cassettes that they gave you cassettes and there were lessons. There was like a book that came with it and then cassettes. So instead of reading the book and just reading the book, I failed fucking miserably on the book report because I didn't do it. But what I did do is one of those nights that I saw that infomercial, I went downstairs and I snuck my mom's credit card out and I called the number and I ordered the speed reading book or the speed reading course. Okay. And I got it. I literally like my parents knew like that I did it. Like I'm sure like, what the fuck is this charge for $150? Okay. But I got the course. I ran out, I snuck out to the mailbox. So I'm like, I kept looking, like I get home off the bus, I would look in the mail and I never looked for the mail. I still don't. And I finally got it. I'm like, yes, I'm going to become a genius. I never touched the speed reading books. Okay. Until I had to do my ACT. ACT?
SAT?
Is that what it is?
SAT?
No, ACT. It was Michigan. Right. Well, yeah, for the state because I was going to college in state.
Oh, okay.
I got into the speed reading books, and I took it really, really serious. I did really well on my ACT actually, but I got really into them, and then like throughout college, I got really into them, but like what I found was I don't even know that the actual techniques because I don't do it exactly the way they teach you the techniques. The technique is right page first, bottom up, left page second, through the middle out. Okay, and that's how I read. It's fucked up. So anyways, I spent so much time reading in there, like and trying to practice this thing that I developed my own fucked up way of reading like really, really fast. Justin, I read like 5 or 6 books a month, like big fucking books.
Yeah, like 800-page books. Like it's crazy.
When
you watch him read too, you can like
bro.
It's just page, turn the page.
It's fucked. Like I'm not that smart of a guy at all. But I for some reason I know how to read really fast now, and it's funny because my wife will take a shower and I'll start reading because like I always make fun of her for how long of a shower she takes, and I'll like fly into a book and I'll read like 6 chapters and then she'll get out and I'll be like, I don't know how long of a shower you just took. I read 6 chapters of a book.
Dude, that'd be something funny as hell. Like, obviously, you don't ever plan on getting a job, but like, just to put on like a resume. What's talent do you have? Super fast reader, just super fast reader.
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
just wait for them to be like, what the hell does this mean? And just read a whole fucking book in front of them.
The Strategies of War, dude, that book didn't, that's a thick motherfucker. That thing didn't stand a chance. That was like a weak read.
Yeah, you're here. I read this book this week and I'm like on page 7 next month. Like, I'm not that guy. I'm the dude that, like, if you give me the instructions on how to put the desk together and I have to look at them, it will get put together upside down. If you just give me the pieces and let me look at the desk, the picture, nail it every time. Books fucking are so hard for me, but it's something I had to just develop and continue to get better at for that reason, man. Like, I used to fucking dread reading a book. I'm still pretty shitty at it. I have like an attention span of a fucking 5-year-old kid, but like, I try my best. A few pages here and there.
So Justin, let me ask you this: 2024, what's on the horizon? What's your next project? What are you going to be doing?
Maybe doing the same stuff I was doing in 2023, but just better. To be 100% honest with you,
Nice.
Fucking best answer, man.
I think a lot of people that come through and it's like, new year, I got to do things completely different, new and better. It's like, you weren't doing it right in the first place then. And that's what it comes down to, because like, as you said, it's like you have, you want to buy your next Rolex or whatever, or the Rolls, whatever you rhymed with Rolls Royce. I can't remember.
Yeah.
That
like,
one.
You know exactly how to get there, right? It's like, you don't have to deviate or switch up shit too much. It's just like, most of the time it's just do more of what you're already doing, but just in a better way to do it, basically.
A little bigger, a little better, a little bigger. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
That always, like, as I got older too, and like as I got more successful in my life, just in general, and happier, I always used to hate that idea of like the fucking new year and everything's gonna change, and it's like, no, it's not like that. No, it's not. Nothing should change from Sunday to Monday, dude. Like, it's like, that's the only fucking thing that changed. It went from Sunday to Monday. Just continue to grind out what you're doing, adjust and improve on the things that you can. But like, I've never believed in that idea of like, brand new year, so I'm gonna do things completely different this year. Like, no, you're not. And why would you if you're doing it successfully?
Exactly. So this was a lot of fun. Real quick. So I just let the people know exactly, how do we get a hold of you? How do we fall into your funnel? Where do we find you? I mean, on all, I know you're on everything, but let them know what's up.
Yeah, I mean, the easiest way is just look me up on Instagram. It's Justin J. Saunders, Jay. It's my middle name. And then, like I was saying earlier on here, I give away everything for free on my YouTube. Just search Justin Saunders, and you'll be able to just download everything for free. And that's, I think, if anything, it's like, that's my welcome into my universe, and thanking you for being on this podcast and watching this far into it.
And no problem. Thank you for being on it here too. This was really fun. And for anybody that's listening, understand, like, I actually did work Justin's program. I was part of his community. I still consider myself part of his community. I don't feel like, he ever closed the door on me. And obviously he's welcome to join us for anything that he'd like to. His shit works, guys. It works very well. He's very educated. We just spent an hour together, and if you didn't get any value out of this young man right here, then you're fucking stupid. Like,
you weren't listening, man. you weren't listening.
Clean the fucking shit out of your ears and listen to Justin Saunders. He's legit. Thank you, Jay. I appreciate you, brother.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for listening. And if you like what you heard, like what you see, please like, comment, subscribe, talk shit, whatever you need to do, but make sure you click that button, guys. Thank you.
Good or bad talk at all, bring it.
Hell yeah.
All right, guys, that wraps up an episode of the Wolves Only podcast powered by JWFIT. Listen, if you guys like what you heard, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like and comment, help us get our message out there. If you want to work with our team, go ahead and click the link in the description below. Schedule a call with us. We'd love to get you on. We really appreciate you guys listening. And if you have any other questions, you can reach out to us on all forms of social media. Thank you so much.